At the beginning of the movie, Mary comes on the scene, who was the friend of Peter. She had become a renowned model and her posters had stuck throughout the city. It means that she was leading a successful life. On the other side, Peter was pizza delivery guy, and he had a useless bike. Peter possessed the multi-powers, and these powers were the great responsibilities on him. And he was not amending anything in his personal life because of these powers. Neither he was concentrating on himself nor he was getting a good job. He was not able to accomplish any task on time. Even he was also failing in his exams. He used to forget everything except helping humanity. Peter goes to that shop where he was serving as a pizza delivery guy. His head shows his anger on him because he had arrived late as usual. Then he orders that you have to deliver these pizzas within 8 minutes, because our delivery target is 30 minutes and 22 minutes have passed. You will not get money if you don't reach there within 8 minutes. You will also lose your job with this. Peter was exerting to deliver those pizzas in some way, but some kids feel the need of him again because they were going to face the accident. Peter immediately changes his appearance into a Spiderman, and he rescues those kids. And he also reaches that building floor to deliver pizza. Many floor mops are slipped on him from the walking area of stairs. He is stopped there and gets late 2 minutes from his target. In this way, Peter's customer says to him that you are 2 minutes late. Now I am not going to pay for this, so Peter also loses this job. Now he has another job as freelance photographer to take Spider-Man photos. He was also not able of doing so. It means that all sources of his earning were hindering. When he goes to university after being dejected, he knows that his lecture has also been over before 1 hour. His professor informs him that his study performance is going poor nowadays. If it continues, then he will be failed in this year. Now he comes to his aunt in this stress. He comes to know that it was his birthday, which was not in his memory. His friends Harry and Mary were also there to celebrate his birthday. They celebrate his birthday here, and his aunt gives him $20 because she knew that he had not money at all. He sees that his friend Mary was waiting for him as he comes out of the building. He feels excitement seeing me. He forgets his other troubles for some time. Mary asks Peter about his life routine. Peter says some problems are going on, but these will also be resolved with the passage of time. Then Mary tells him about his life. She also reveals that someone else has stepped in her life. Mary was still willing to stay with Peter, but Peter had already many issues. If he brought Mary into his life, then Mary had to face all issues too. He leaves from there, keeping quiet. He comes to his apartment now. His apartment was in poor condition because he had not money, and the owner of this apartment used to tease him daily with it. When will you pay the rent of it? So he used to hide himself from them every time. After this, it is seen that Harry had brought Peter to his business partner. Harry had taken the hold of his father's business. He brings Peter here so he may meet with the scientist. Because Peter had got a project from school that he has to conduct a research on a scientist. So Harry had brought him here where scientist says to him, I don't meet with any student, but I should meet you because Harry has requested. Peter and the scientist converse with each other regarding subject. Scientist's wife approaches here, and she asks him, have you any life partner? He says, no, I am single. Then he suggests him that you may know the poetry. Peter reads the books of poetry on her, saying, now he wanted to meet Mary and yearned to tell that she is still his friend. As Peter was nearly to move to Mary, he observes that she is trying to seize the thieves but of no avail. Peter assists the police catching the thieves. Meanwhile, his bike is also damaged. When Peter begins to go to the theater of Mary, where she used to perform her show, the people of that place do not allow him to go inside because he had gone too late. Now he was going to wait for Mary staying outside. Peter was waiting for Mary staying outside. When Mary comes out of the theater after his waiting of long time, he notices that Mary's another friend had come to her. Seeing him, he leaves that place. Afterwards, it is seen that Spider-Man visualizes again, as some thieves have approached there. When he is using his wedge shooter to capture them, suddenly his wedge shooters stop working. He falls down from a height. He feels here that his all superpowers have ended here. Now he was returning home as a lonesome and lost person, where he had neither job, his bike was also inoperative. He was down in studies and his house was also rented. After this, Peter is seen in the lab of that scientist, where he was going to reveal his inventions before the people. and Harry was going to assist him in the demonstration of these inventions. Who was the friend of Peter? Scientist tells all that he is inventing the artificial sun with the help of nuclear fusion power. It will be safe and the people will get the light from it every time. Then that scientist shows everyone a specific type of robotic machine, which was like the 4 tentacle arms. He tells that these are my helpers which will help me to make the artificial sun. They don't receive any effect of heat and magnetic field. Now that robotic machine is attached to his body and its pins are stuck into his spine, through which he could control those arms. And he also tells with it that these arms have also their own mind. It means that they have their own brain through which they can do anything or think. The other people ask the questions from the scientists there that if you say that these arms have their own mind, how will you control them? He tells that I have manufactured a chip specially for this, through which these 4 arms will be connected with my brain, and it will also be under my control. Now the scientist starts his nuclear fusion reaction, but a problem is detected in it. Buildings, all metals begin to attract it because of having much magnetic field. There was going on the fusion reaction there. Peter begins to save everyone, getting the appearance of the Spider-Man. Harry says to that doctor, stop this reaction, but he says that, no, it is stable and all right. I will not stop it. But Harry says to him, it is my order to stop it. But that scientist does not stop. His wife also died because of being stabbed with many glasses. After this, Peter rescues Harry, who was in trouble. Then he goes to the control system where the scientist asks him, what are you doing? He says that I am closing this system. He uses his arms to stop it, and he falls the Spider-Man to the opposite direction. Scientist also receives an electric shock here. At last, the Spider-Man stops that fusion reaction, destroying that system. Harry is very worried here because he had invested a lot of money on this project, and all that money had wasted. On the other side, doctors are seen in the hospital, where doctors were working to pull those tentacle arms from that scientist. As those doctors were removing those tentacle arms, those arms are activated using their brain, and they end all the doctors. Now scientist also restores his consciousness. He checks that the chip through which he used to control these arms, it has damaged and these tentacle arms are using their own brain. Then Peter is seen in his news office where the editor of newspaper says to Peter, there is a party at my home due to the happiness of the arrival of my son. You will hold the task of photography. Now it is seen that scientist was thinking to end these arms, but these arms control scientist's mind here, and they put the idea in scientist's mind that we will again make that chip. We need money for this, so we should rob. Now that scientist reaches a bank for this purpose, where Peter and his aunt were already there, who had come here to resolve the issue of their house. At the same time, scientist breaks the locker of bank, intruding there. He throws the door of locker at a distance which was going to strike Peter's aunt, but Peter soon saves her. When scientist is taking out the money from there, then Peter appears there in Spider-Man appearance. That scientist had gone aggressive, seeing Peter here, and he was hitting all bags of money to Spider-Man while lifting them. The fight had started between the Spider-Man and that scientist. That scientist holds a sway over that Spider-Man with the help of the arms. Spider-Man also brings table to him quickly with the help of his webs. He has to leave the Spider-Man, keeping it away from him. Meanwhile, that scientist falls out of the bank. He was attacking the Spider-Man with the parts of car after damaging it. At the same time, police reach there, and scientist captures Spider-Man's aunt to blackmail him. Then that scientist begins to climb a tall building, taking his aunt. Spider-Man says to him, reaching there, leave her. So scientist leaves her at the spot. Consequently, she had begun to fall. Spider-Man immediately pulls her up with the help of his web. That aunt was hanging with the building, and a great fight between Spider-Man and scientist was going on. When scientist catches the aunt of Peter's aunt again, then aunt attacks him from the backside. As a result, she falls down, and Spider-Man rescues her. Then it is seen that Peter is in the same party where that editor of newspaper had invited him. He comes there for photography. When his head son and his fiancée were coming the downstairs, then he is left astonished seeing his fiancée, because she was no one else but his friend Mary. Meantime, Peter's friend Harry also reaches there. He shows his extreme anger at him, asking why did he take the photos of Spider-Man, whereas his brother does not like Spider-Man, and he thinks here as his both friends are going far from him. Being sorrowful, he moves from there. Much time has passed that Spider-Man's powers used to stop working. So he visits a doctor, where he says to the doctor that I often have a dream of Spider-Man. He says that I am in difficulty, my powers are often does not work. The doctor says on it that if Spider-Man's powers are not working now, so he should stop using his powers, and he should lead a normal life. Now Peter abides by the advice of the doctor. He starts to lead a normal life. Either someone is calling him or he visualizes anything, or there is something happening bad. In spite of it, he keeps busy in his life. After this, it is seen that Doctor was with Harry now. He needed something that he may accomplish his mission. That thing was in the possession of Harry, who used to detest Spider-Man. He commits an agreement with him here. He says that if you bring Spider-Man to me, then I will hand you over that tentacle. Then that doctor asks, from where will I search for that doctor? Then he tells that Peter, who takes the photos of Spider-Man, you can easily capture the Spider-Man if you seize him. It is seen here that Peter was taking lunch with Mary. Suddenly his all superpowers are restored, and he visualizes that there is someone at his backside. Then scientist asks him about the Spider-Man coming there. He abducts Mary. A fight is started between scientist and the Spider-Man again. They both come on the running train while fighting. That scientist increases the speed of train with the help of his tentacle arms. Due to this, that train's brakes are also failed. Spider-Man knew it that the train will fall down if it is moved forward. So he tries to stop the train in order to rescue the life of all passengers. That train was in its full speed and it was difficult to stop it. He stops the train after a struggle, using his multi-webs. He had used his full power here now. He had knocked down with the stoppage of train, but the passenger did not let him fall. And all passengers had taken him inside while lifting. Spider-Man had not felt that he has no mask on his face here. All are left shocked to see him because he was a very young boy. Meanwhile, kids appear there and say to him, taking his mask, we will not reveal it to anyone, that you have rescued us. Then scientist again comes here and he takes Spider-Man to Harry, capturing him. Harry is extremely excited. He fulfills the need of the scientist. As Harry unmasks the Spider-Man here, he notices that he is Peter. He asks him, why had he killed his father? Spider-Man says to him, I have no time to expose it. Tell me, where is Mary? Harry replies that I have no knowledge about Mary. Spider-Man explains to him that you have given the scientist the things which was his need, and he will start a great fusion reaction with the help of this tentacle. As a result, the whole city may ruin through this. Spider-Man says to Harry to help, and Harry also agrees with him. Then Spider-Man reaches scientist's location where he was going to start that fusion reaction. The battle is again broken out between the Spider-Man and the scientist. Scientist was not stopping from his task, so the Spider-Man unmasks himself. He shows him that he is Peter. He says to him, you have told me that we should help others with our powers. We may not destroy others with our powers, and you are doing the same. Peter says to that scientist, this whole city will be ruined if you don't stop this reaction. At last, scientist understands it. Then he goes there to stop that nuclear fusion. Now he does not hear the command of the tentacle arms. Taking the power fusion, he falls into that water through which that lab had been constructed. In this way, that scientists has died, and the city is also kept safe from that destruction, which was going to destroy with this nuclear fusion. Mary had also known here that Peter is Spider-Man, and she also tells Peter that I have known before a time that you are a Spider-Man. Spider-Man says to her, but with that boy, I have many troubles if you stay with me, and you will also have to face all those troubles. Next day, it is seen that today was the marriage day of Mary and John. John receives a note with the written statement that Mary has moved from there. Then it is seen that Mary comes to Spider-Man's house. They both are united. Harry is seen later, who had known that his father was the evil person, while Spider-Man was a right person, because such secret of his house part is revealed to him, where his father's lab was located. There were multi-weapons. His father had built these weapons to kill the Spider-Man. Then Harry decides that he will kill the Spider-Man for his father, and he will avenge. In the end of the movie, it is seen that Spider-Man was on his mission again. He was there to rescue all, helping them.